Welcome, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for coming. My name is Rafael Varona. And today, for the following minutes, I would love to talk to you guys about my work, about illustration and animation, about the joy of having turned my hobby into, or my passion into my job. Also the fear and anxiety that comes with it, and how I try to use it to create a path in which I could work as a creative in this industry. And also, last but not least, I would like to talk to you about the big AI fear and disruption. I have a couple of thoughts about that. I would just like to talk to you guys, but also hear your thoughts about it and end it with that. But yeah, let's get started. Who the hell am I? I was born and raised in the beautiful city of Berlin. I grew up there in the 70s and 80s, like really quite an exciting time to be around, I have to say. Very political, very artistically, like lots of interesting individuals, to say the least. Sorry?
It's better if you use the mic.
It's better if I use the mic? Okay, all right. Where is it?
It's here.
Yeah, test, can everybody hear me?
It's on.
Hello? Oh, sorry. Hi, test. Yeah, okay. All right. So yeah, growing up in Berlin, lots of interesting individuals, including my parents, my Peruvian parents. If I have to describe my childhood in one sentence, I would say very colorful, filled with Latin American music, and all on the gray cement block background of Berlin in those days. It's not the prettiest city, but quite exciting to grow up in, I have to say. And I mean, look at it, a genius in the making. And what happened then? Years later, I got hooked by love. And I fell in love with a Dutch girl from Breda, and she grabbed my ass over to the Netherlands. And after a first stop in a couple of years in Amsterdam, we finally landed and settled in Rotterdam, or better, precisely in Schiedam. And lived there happily ever after with the 3 beautiful children, Nouri, Nella, and Yuna. I got to create these birthday cards for them. I had the honor. But yeah, let's rewind a little bit. I did study at the University of Arts in Berlin. I studied illustration in those years, and still to this day, I think in Germany, it's a very craft-focused study. So you learn a lot about printing techniques. I learned silkscreen, woodcuts, lino, everything. My professor in those days was very well connected to the underground publishing scene of Berlin and Germany. So we had these inner circle competitions in which we could win the chance of creating a book cover and book illustrations for one of those publishers. And they were very, very, very badly paid. But it was a first chance to get a foot in the door, right? And to start a portfolio, which was really important to all of us creatives in those years. I continued, I did some posters, some covers for news magazines. I found out about Wacom tablets and digital pens, and stopped drawing and scanning for hours, but rather do everything digitally from here on. Infographics, other work. This was an illustration I did for the reopening of the statue park in Oslo, Vigeland, I think it was called. And yeah, also other opportunities, like you know, in those days you did illustrations, and it would be on landing pages of different companies. And also I wanted to share this one. This is the Rotterdam. Many of you probably know it. We have the founders here in the house, also Enrique and Götzte. Yeah, give them a hand. It's a very beautiful project. I had the honor of creating one of the covers. As many of you know, Götz is one of the organizers of CreativeMornings. Thank you so much for having me. And yeah, it's a beautiful project. And for those who haven't heard it or heard about it, please check it out. Years ago then, Mikita, a Berlin eyewear manufacturer, approached me and said, can you create a hero illustration for us? And I was like, yeah, I can create a hero illustration. And I had no idea what a hero illustration is. So I had to Google the shit out of it. And it turns out they used my illustration to put it on packaging, branding products. It was really nice because it was used on shop windows globally, from Berlin to Paris to New York. So that was really quite a big deal for me as a young illustrator. And I was thinking, yeah, am I making it as an illustrator? Am I like successful or something? But yeah, hold on. This is what my professor, my beloved Professor W, told me on my very last day of university. And you will not make enough money as an illustrator, so get yourself a side gig. Now that gave me a healthy package of anxiety on my career, I have to say. But he's not wrong. The creative or the illustration industry is a really tough one. There's not that many jobs. If they are, they're usually not really well paid. There's a lot of really talented illustrators out there that are usually much better than me. So yeah, get yourself a side gig. I did my fair share of barista work and waitering, but I thought animation is something that always interested me. So in those times and in those years, the programs would get better and better and much more powerful and more accessible, like After Effects, Flash in those years, now Animate, Toon Boom. And I started to get into animation a little bit. And yeah, that's me dancing. And experimenting with different animation techniques, with shapes, forms, just figuring out, what to do and how to work with it. And also, getting a couple of first gigs. In those years, I have to say, a few years ago was the golden times of animators and illustrators. We used to put our work on social media platforms like Instagram or Behance, and then clients would approach us and art directors and say, hey, we love that job. Can you do exactly that, but for my brand, please? So I worked for Snapchat, Wall Street Journal, W Magazine, did animated infographics for WHO. I still do that today. It was really nice collaborations. But yeah, in order to get these jobs, you had to do personal projects. Now, something that speaks about my personality a lot, I have slight ADD. It's really hard for me to create linear work in a way. I have, at my university, when you were an animator, you would do 5 minutes short movies and send them to festivals, hopefully win prizes, and then art directors and clients would approach you and agencies and collaborate with you, and I just didn't have the patience for it. I'm not linear in that way. I cannot write something from chapter 1 to chapter 10. Chapter 5 is what's interesting to me, and I wanted to get to chapter 5 like immediately, I love creating a cover for a book, but I don't like writing it. I hope that's enough analogies. But yeah, basically start at the center and work myself from the center out there and figure out the rest on the way, sort of. I try to find a topic for these personal projects. Ali Mitkusch is a German children's book illustrator. He created these so-called Wimmelbücher. I think in English it's hidden picture books. And yeah, I always loved them. I grew up with them. There's a lot of intricate scenes, lots of little stories that are being told, and I thought, let's do that, but animated. Let's try to figure out a topic for that. Impossible Bottles is something that I found, and some of you may know it. It's these bottles that have a ship in them, and you don't really know how it got in there. I thought that's a beautiful topic, to use as my shelf, so to speak. And I started to create animated impossible bottles like this one. So again, jumping right into sort of my favorite scene, what interested me. We have the mad scientist, we had the crazy dancing robot, and then creating something outside. It needed a vessel, it needed to be within that bottle. It could also be calmer, more relaxed. Topics could be isolation, duality of impressions, like taking a bath in autumn in a lake, upwards, downwards, and so on. The stories could be a little bit longer. If you look at the left, you can figure out a storyline in a way if you have the patience for it. Can be more political, on the right, but to be honest, I just wanted to animate a tornado, all my life. And I found sort of the vessel to do so, and then I make it political at the end, but yeah. And can also be about life and death, God complex of human beings. I created one of them per year. It was sort of, I don't know, it hit me, and I just had to create one of them. So it's a really dear project of mine. You've seen the loops already. Loops are something that is really important to me. Again, I don't really work linear, and this is a perfect opportunity for me to create animations that are 3 to 5 seconds long. And the real challenge about it is to find the real entry point and the exit point. So basically make them as seamlessly as possible. But yeah, again, jumping into my favorite scenes, so to speak, nuns playing badminton on some French landscape. It can also be quicker, more dynamic, and energetic in that way. And yeah, also clients would approach me, and my usual way of working would be that at some point I would ask for mood words. So they would, Playbook would then tell me, like, we want something about joy, about friendship and collaboration. Someone planting the seed, the other one watering it, And so they would use all of these animations across the app. It was, sort of my way of starting projects from now on. My favorite way, though, is if I could create illustrations that would be printed, like for this festival in Holland called Welcome to the Village. Lots of little scenes, intricate scenes and cutouts that would be used, excerpts, so to speak, that are animated and used for their social media. This is like a really preferred way of working for me. You are a playground designer. A few years ago, I had a talk with a friend that said that line to me, and it hit me because he's right, or he was right. I love playgrounds, and I love creating them. I like just, finding a scenery with lots of scenes again, like little hidden treasures, all of that stuff. This was for a company as well, for a mental health care app. And again, topics like hidden fears, insecurity, anxiety, all of these things. It can be a horse ride in the park, rotating islands, these things. I created this animated header for a Dutch company called Freibeuter. So again, these mood words would be just the gear and outfits that they would sell in their stores, from skiing to any kind of other equipment. And I would try to just put that into a whole landscape, into a playground, and it would be used on their landing page. Yara is something that I'm sharing here because it was pretty much my first Dutch client. And it was a really beautiful experience as opposed to working with German clients, at least in my experience, because they're so much more open for experimentation, I had the feeling. Like, I created this hero animation. It was really big in volume, in file size. And they didn't care that it would take seconds to load, on the website. They still wanted to use it, which was really nice. I mean, in Germany, that would have never happened. Not functional. So we worked on this, and then it turned into more work also with them, which was really nice, across all kinds of platforms. On flags, as murals, leaflets, everything. Yeah, it was a really nice job. Same thing was for the Natural History Museum. It was quite mind-blowing because I would go to London all the time and visit that museum, and I pitched for this job, and at the end won, and I got the opportunity to create these landscape animation, but also vertical formats, and they would be used for print inside the museum, which again was really nice for me, but also be just shown all over London. Big. Also really nice to work with the people behind, something like a museum that you always admired, and you realize that they are sophisticated and smart, but also really nice, warm and passionate. So yeah, it's the perks of working in this industry, I think. I did an animated cover for the Hollywood Reporter. It would be in print, but also on the digital outlet. It's about climate change and how it affects Hollywood. I mean, talk about first world problems, I guess. But yeah, that was the topic here. For a French toy company, this was nice. This was for my brother-in-law's first rap album. And then, work for 7-Up. Again, different mood words: lush, adventurous, spontaneous, all of these things. Animated backdrops for Porsche. It was used for social media, but this one was quite nice because they would actually use them on backdrops on the stores, which was really nice. I have no pictures to prove it, but it's really true. And another one was LL Bean. So that's an American clothing company, and again, we created a hero animation for it, and then use scenes out of this as cutouts for social media. That would also represent certain moods, again, all of these things. But also, this would be printed and used as the cover for their catalog. I think it's coming up now. And also for outdoor and displays. So that's always nice, I think, as a digital creator. If your things sort of live a little bit longer out there, Usually they die after 2 or 3 months during a campaign, and then they're maybe in my portfolio, but then that's it, you know, and then they pretty much die. This is just a nice thing to see for a creative, I think, out there, if things just are outside on displays like this, for example. And it can also lead to dream jobs. I have the honor of creating Yule log animations for Lucasfilms, for Star Wars themed topics. Yule logs are 2-hour-long animations that they put on YouTube for the holiday season only, and especially American households get to play them in the background, you know, on like for the holidays, as fireplaces, so to speak. And yeah, it's really nice. I mean, it's amazing to animate Grogu, you know, all of these things, and I get to do that yearly, which is really, really nice. Dance for me. I love music, we all do. It plays an enormous role in my work. I feel that my characters, you know, have to compensate sort of for my shy nature. I would never be the first on the dance floor, maybe the last, but yeah, I love dancing. I love creating these characters, genderless or strong female characters, you know, with sass, with attitude. I just really love that, and yeah, I would spend lots of hours, I think, in front of the mirror trying to figure out dance poses, you know, for these things. But it's just a lot of fun. This was for Google, for a couple of animated emojis. And yeah, I do think that music just adds a nice little layer, you know, to everything. Can you hear this? Oh, it's not connected. There's actually music behind it. Yeah, and for time, yeah. I mean, lots of these things, I love music, you know, that's it. I created this series. I always thought, why are King Kong and Godzilla fighting? They should fight, if anything, on dance pedals, you know? So on. All right. So my last project I wanted to share with you guys, I'm sharing, it's really old, it's my master's project, but it speaks a lot about my personality, I have to say, and that's why I'm sharing it today. So you remember these little guys, right? I don't work linear. I was really anxious when I had to prepare my thesis, so to speak, for my master's. All my co-students would do short movies, comic books. I didn't know where to start. I had no idea. And luckily, early enough, I found a way of just saying, I'm going to create the framework for it. Rather than making a story, again, from chapter 1 to chapter 10, I'd rather find my topic. My topic was I wanted to create a city with lots of scenes in it that just interest me to this day. And I started with a tile. So this is majorly influenced by the mathematical tiles of the Alhambra from, maybe some of you guys know it, but from the tile systems, you know, of the Arabic designs from before. So what it is you take the same tile or other tiles, I created about 100 of them, and you can add them on any side of the tile itself. I also have them physically present for anybody who's interested. But basically you take this and you can add it on any side. And it always creates a new image. And yeah, this is how it started, you know. I could also create larger tiles, and again, the same picture or any other tile, of course, could be added on any side and create a new surprising outcome in that way. Created different tiles just to have a little bit more content inside, you know, that you could use, and then also use topics, quotes, cities, architecture, all of that stuff, in order to then create a full, you know, system. It could be printed as posters. Those posters would be coincidentally put together and always give like a new result. It was also a great opportunity for me to do my loops again, you know, and I could include that in the digital system that you will see a little bit later. But yeah, it can also be a diary, you know. It can be today, where I'm telling you that I'm a playground designer. And I can take this and add that to my collection of tiles that I've created so far, which is about 100 now. But yeah, just to show you, I coded a website in which you can see it just adds all of these like single tiles or larger compositions into new, surprising, let's say, accidental combinations. It's always coincidental. If I refresh this website, it's going to be a new combination of tiles. Yeah, I just really loved it because, again, me, you know, no beginning, no end. Woo! Something that I really love. So yeah, it's something that I'm still doing today. If there's game designers out there, I have no conclusion about this thing. I didn't know how to monetize it, for example, or do anything with it. If there's anyone out there that wants to help, feel free to reach out. But yeah, okay. How can I create in the age of AI? I just wanted to share this at the end of my talk. To be honest, 2 years ago, I would have never imagined that we have to discuss this even, you know, but it's here now, and it's crazy. We've all been there. I've had a couple of rough 1 or 2 years. We see the headlines, the Reddit conversations, role models that are getting stolen from. I lost jobs to AI, and my clients would blatantly tell me so, that it's much cheaper to work in that way. It's on headlines, everything. You get these, I don't know if you've seen it, but if you're a parent, these AI-generated invitation cards for birthday cards now, you know? So it's everywhere in a way. And yeah, it's been a massive roller coaster, emotional roller coaster for me. Also, I would watch AI-generated content and videos and cry in despair and realize, my God, I'm getting replaced. I will not have a job in the future, and like be desperate about it. And then the fucking YouTube and Instagram algorithm would think that I love that stuff and feed me even more. And I would get deeper and deeper and deeper into the wormhole, you know, of misery in that way. But yeah, I mean, we've been there. So I talked to a couple of people, mentors, old professors. I have no conclusion about it, but I brought along a couple of thoughts. Very importantly, I don't judge people using AI. I'm not opposed. I understand it's the new times and everything else. My points and thoughts that I have are quite biased and one-sided, you know, but I'm happy to hear your thoughts about it too. But number one, AI art is theft. I don't give a fuck if AI is gonna improve my work style, if I get more efficient with it and quicker and everything. It sucks. I hate that I never consented on my work and the work of so many people here in this room having been used to feed the machinery just because I have an account on Instagram. It sucks. It hurts. It's really, really like it's something that just made me very emotional over the last months. Especially if you see something like this. I love Ghibli Studios. Some of you may know it. You know, my absolute favorite animation studio. And you see posts like this coming up of you know, content creators that create prompted Ghibli scenes. And at the same time, Hayao Miyazaki, the founder of the studio, writes about how the creators have no idea what pain is. You know, and it's so true. It's painful, you know, to create. And it's creepy for him and disgusting even in a way. And it's just weird, you know, to go through all these emotions in that way. I posted like a rant about it on one of my stories. And the funny thing is that the creator, they bot probably, I don't know, reacted to it and said like, thank you for criticizing it because I'm even reaching more audience because of you. So, the irony, you know, in that way. But yeah, I mean, also, by the way, that content creator is using it to monetize it. It's also wants to make money based on that. So yeah, it's been a rough ride, I have to say. 2, AI slop is for slop companies. I talked to a friend from Berlin who owns an agency, and he said that if tomorrow 3/4 of all brands would disappear, no one would miss them. And in a way, I feel that he's right. There's a lot of copy-paste companies out there, you know, that have no soul, identity, personality. And I'm pretty sure that those companies are the ones that, like, you know, welcome AI-generated imagery. And they love the fact that they can now skip the creative in order to produce a brand, you know, in a way. I know that Coca-Cola and McDonald's are not the best examples for that. But just to give you an example, it's just videos that triggered me a lot when I saw them. Number 3, AI is the best cover band in the world. So I have used AI. I have experimented with it. I tried it out. And some of the results are mesmerizing, quite amazing. And it's scary how better and better every version of it gets, you know? But at the end of the day, let's not forget, AI distillates millions of pixels and possibilities into an image. And it doesn't care to give you a good result, a satisfying result. The only thing the creators of AI and AI itself cares about is our human feedback. It's what we think about it and how it can get better through us, in a way. I mean, I read somewhere that it took AI 7 million pictures of cats in order to differentiate between a cat and a dog, and like it takes 3 or 4 pictures for a human being to do that. So our human brain is amazing, and hopefully will forever be better in that way. Who knows? It's a lot of yets and ifs, and who knows what the future brings, but still. And last point is human-made is the new quality seal. So you know how nowadays you have AI-generated content on, like, for example, news and every kind of media outlet, and it always being marked as AI-generated. And I believe that in the future it's going to be the opposite. It's everything's going to be AI-generated, and human-made stuff is going to be this sort of quality seal that you have out there, where companies appreciate, and the humans behind it, maybe in collaboration with AI, who knows? But I believe that that's the new quality seal. I read that those jobs that are the most endangered to be replaced by AI are the ones that are digital, so that counts for almost any one of us, but also the ones who are from home, who are working from home. So I think what we learn from this in a way is to get out, to meet, to communicate, do something like this even, where we sit together, we have conversations with each other, communicate, network, shake hands, give high fives, fist bumps, all of these things, And then at the end of the day, you're just being human, because after all, I think clients are still human. And I think also human clients would much rather yell at human designers for, things that just go wrong and that suck about a certain outcome than to a bot, or at least that's what I hope, in the future. Okay, and my last point is just, what do you think? I've been ranting about it. I'm biased, I'm a creative that has been disrupted, but I'm very, very interested to hear you guys' thoughts. Anyways, was it from me. Thank you so much for listening to me.